and those who wait forever for ships that don't come in.
Hey y'all, I am here today with my friend Dave Gibson, and this is part 2 of our interview about his amazing songwriting career. We're the songwriters. One song I wanted to ask you about today is Ships That Don't Come In, recorded by Joe Diffie.
Right.
Love that song, and I just heard the new version with Toby Keith singing on it. So that was Toby's last recording?
Toby's last recording, yeah, and Luke sang on it.
And Luke Combs is on it?
Yeah, the duet with Joe.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing about it is that song, all the tracks, the 30 hits that Joe had, Lonnie Wilson produced the whole bunch of songs back in 2007.
Yeah.
And Lonnie calls me up and he says, "Man, you won't believe this." He says, Luke Combs and Toby sang your song. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, I can't believe that, because Toby had passed away.
So you didn't know that he had recorded it until after he passed away?
Right, exactly. I had no idea.
Wow. We're always the last to know, the songwriter.
You know, it came out of the blue. It really did, and
Yeah.
that was just a real big shot in the arm for me.
Yeah.
Because that song was a hit in '91.
Yeah.
And that was a year so many things happened for me. Gibson Miller Band, and we were on, Joe Diffie and I, we were all on the same label, on Epic Records.
Yeah.
And the one thing about that song is that I wrote it with my buddy Paul Nelson. We were writing another song, and I'm like, I told Paul, I said, I'm not into this song.
Yeah.
I said, I know you got a hit idea in that book right there. And I said, you better dig it out, because I want an award-winning song. He pulled that title out, and I said, you got to be kidding me. And he had some of the lyric written on it. And I said, that's incredible. And the good Lord signed down on me, and I started playing these chords.
Yeah.
And that was it. We wrote it in about 2.5 hours.
Really?
Yeah. We looked at each other like, oh my God, we're never going to get this song cut.
Yeah.
Because the second verse, had the line in there about bitch about $1.
I specifically wanted to ask you about that because this was in '91, right? So back then there was not much profanity, and especially country music. So did that meet a lot of resistance, or did it matter?
3 or 4 stations would not play it. They had to go in and change the line. Joe was so pissed off. He said, I don't want to do this crap. This is bullshit.
What'd they change it to?
Gripe about $1?
Yeah, it's not as good.
So Joe says, how about this? If they don't like the original version, how about a gripe about $1? And Paul and I are looking at each other. Are you kidding me? No way you guys do that.
They're going to fire you.
So we went to, I came in one day at Sony to Jack Lamar, who was a radio promotion guy. And he said, here's a little glass of Jack Daniels. We're going to toast right now. We just went #1 without those M-effers.
That's good.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's so. Anyway, that you just never know.
Yeah,
That song took 3 years probably to get cut.
Yeah.
And the Oak Ridge Boys had it. Alabama took it in the studio and didn't cut it. And then I can't remember who else. Somebody was looking at it, but Bob Montgomery, who produced Joe, found it by accident.
Really?
Played it for Joe, and Joe said, I love that song, but he said, that's heavy.
Yeah, it seemed like an unlikely hit to me because it was such a serious song about the underdog.
And nothing like that had he ever done.
Yeah.
And Bob said, well, just do this. Go in there and sing it one time with a guitar, and if you don't want to do it, we won't.
Yeah.
He came out and he said, Oh, yeah, we're doing this song.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. I
Yeah.
love you, man.
Well, that's the great thing about country music, though, is just the reality in it, you know?
Yeah.
It's real life, it's true stories, and I can imagine that song has touched a lot of folks.
Well, it sure touched my life, and Joe told me it's the thing that changed his life and his career, and I said, dude, right here, ditto.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would love you to play that song today.
I sure will. I could tell he'd had a tough life by the way he sat and stared. Me, I'd come to push and shove, so I pulled up a chair. We talked of roads untraveled, and we talked of loves untrue. The streams that come unraveled, we were kings and kindred fools. And just when night hit bottom, that old man raised his glass, said, at least we've had our chances. There's those who never have. So here's to all the soldiers who have ever died in vain, the insane locked up in themselves, the homeless down on Main, to those who stand on empty shores and spit against the wind, and those who wait forever for ships that don't come in. He said it's only life's illusions that bring us to this bar, to pick up these old crutches and compare each other's scars. The things we're calling heartaches, hell, they're hardly worth our time. We would bitch about $1, and there's those without a dime. And as he ordered one last round, he said, I guess we can't complain. God made life a gamble, oh, and we're still in the game. So here's to all the soldiers who have ever died in vain, the insane locked up in themselves, the homeless down on Main, those who stand on empty shores and spit against the wind, and those who wait forever for ships that don't come in. The ones who wait forever for ships that don't come in.